Okay, let's kick things off. We've got a really interesting piece of source material in front of us today. It's deceptively simple, actually. Just a short anecdote called The Transforming Power of Kindness.
Right.
But don't let that fool you. We're not just reading a story here. This is a deep dive into, well, psychological transformation, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And our mission here, for you listening, is really to treat this little story almost like a case study. A really high-fidelity one, actually.
Okay.
We want to figure out the mechanism, How does such a tiny psychological input, we're talking one sentence here, trigger this massive life-changing output? It compounds.
Yeah, that compounding effect is key.
It really is. And it's not about some grand gesture. It's about the almost surgical precision of simple human recognition.
Okay, so let's set the scene. The story centers on a boy named Ravi in a small village school. And the source gives us a really clear baseline for him. It says he was quiet, pathologically shy even, and crucially, he always sat alone. He's basically the kid nobody notices, the definition of overlooked.
And we really need to zoom in on that state.
Yeah.
Because, quiet and shy can just be personality traits, right?
Sure.
But the source is specific. It details the environment. His classmates ignored him because he didn't talk much.
Okay.
So you get this self-reinforcing cycle, this what we could probably call an invisibility loop.
An invisibility loop. That's a powerful way to put it. Can you break down the psychology of that loop a bit more?
Well, yeah. Think about something like self-perception theory. If you act quiet, people start seeing you as the quiet one. They stop expecting you to speak.
Okay.
And if they stop expecting it, they stop trying to engage you. So the silence isn't just silence. It becomes social proof almost, reinforcing that internal belief. Nobody notices me. I'm not worth talking to.
Wow.
So Ravi's whole inner world would likely be dominated by this passive feeling, like a kind of learned helplessness almost. He learned that trying to connect maybe just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So the safest thing, just disappear.
So the isolation wasn't really his choice. It was more like a defense mechanism built up over time because of how others reacted or didn't react.
Exactly. It's cemented by that peer behavior. His silence wasn't the root cause. It was the result.
Which brings us perfectly to the catalyst. The moment the source says this loop gets broken, the arrival of a new teacher.
Yes. And her first action is described as warm, but quite general. She smiled at everyone. Standard nice teacher behavior.
Right. Pretty normal.
But transformation, real change, often needs more than just general warmth. It usually requires something specific, something targeted.
And this is where the source material gets really precise, isn't it? She sees Ravi sitting alone, and she doesn't just give a generic chin-up kind of thing. She goes right to him, addresses him directly, and uses those, 7 specific words. Good morning, Ravi. You have a beautiful smile. Why don't you share it more often?
Exactly. And we need to pause right there. Why that phrase? Why comment on a smile? A physical thing. Why not say, hey, Ravi, come join the others, or, you should try talking more?
Well, my first reaction is telling him to talk more might just make him feel worse, like highlighting the problem.
Right.
But noticing something positive, something he maybe wasn't even aware he was projecting or was actively hiding, that feels different, fundamentally different.
It's absolutely crucial. She wasn't asking him to fix something wrong with him. She was pointing out something good that was already there, an asset he possessed but wasn't using.
Ah, okay, an existing asset.
Yes. In psychological terms, she's not demanding a behavior change like talk more. She's giving him external validation. And that validation directly contradicts his likely self-image of being, invisible or worthless.
So she's giving him permission to be seen based on something positive he already has.
Precisely. She shifted the focus away from his internal feeling of his lack of confidence, towards his external potential for warmth, for connection, symbolized by the smile.
So she basically spotted the potential, the beautiful smile, and used that specific observation as a lever to just disrupt that whole negative self-perception he'd built up. That really elevates it, doesn't it? It's not just nice words. It's almost like a cognitive reprogramming, a small intervention with a huge potential impact.
You've nailed it. And that's why the source says those words touched Ravi's heart.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a pleasant moment. It was the instant that the old belief system, I am invisible, I don't matter, got shattered.
And we have to remember that context that the source gives. This was explicitly the first time anyone had noticed him kindly.
The first time.
That's staggering. It wasn't just a good day, it was day one, ground zero for his self-actualization journey, maybe?
Yeah, if we're thinking in stages, stage one is definitely that internal change, the immediate emotional hit and the reversal of that learned helplessness pattern you mentioned.
Okay.
And the critical thing is, the teacher didn't demand anything back. She just offered recognition. Ravi's own internal system did the rest.
And you see that rest immediately in his behavior, right? The source says from that day, like no delay, he started talking a bit more. He started helping other kids. And this is interesting. He started studying harder. It wasn't a slow build. It was an immediate shift.
And that brings us right to stage two.
Yeah.
Behavioral output. And maybe a shift in his locus of control.
How so?
Well, before, his actions, or lack thereof, were kind of controlled by the outside. Classmates ignoring him. Passive.
Right.
After this intervention, he starts initiating actions. Talking more, helping others. These are active choices now, coming from this new internal sense of worth. They're not just defensive reactions anymore.
That point about studying harder is really insightful, too. It shows the ripple effect almost immediately in a practical area. It's one thing to feel better emotionally,
Yeah.
but to instantly channel that into effort, into studying, that shows the affirmation didn't just make him feel, warm and fuzzy. It actually motivated him.
Absolutely. The kind words didn't magically give him the answers for a test, obviously.
Of course not.
But they gave him the crucial psychological fuel. The belief that his effort was worthwhile now. That maybe success was possible, and maybe even deserved.
Because if you think you're invisible...
Why bother succeeding? Exactly. But if you believe you have something positive worth sharing, like a smile, then maybe your hard work is also worth sharing. Maybe it's worth being noticed and rewarded. That just shatters the invisibility loop right there.
Okay, so let's jump forward. Years later, we need to see the full scope of this compounding effect.
No.
It didn't just stop with Ravi feeling better or doing better in school.
No, not at all.
The source tells us he didn't just get his confidence back. He built a whole career out of this transformation. He became a teacher.
And that's stage 3, isn't it? The generational payoff, the legacy.
Yeah.
It's not just any career choice. It feels very deliberate.
Yeah.
He chose to go back into the same system that almost, crushed him. But this time, he's in the position of the person who can make the difference, the catalyst.
Like the teacher who changed his life.
Exactly like the teacher who changed his life. That choice is the ultimate proof, the highest affirmation of the power that single act of kindness had.
So, in a way, that teacher's one sentence didn't just save Ravi. It created like an ongoing source of future kindness. It ensures that positive impact gets paid forward, exponentially, really, to all the students he will teach who might also be feeling overlooked.
Think of it like a psychological investment, right?
Right.
With potentially infinite returns. That minimal initial input, one sentence, is now compounding year after year through every student Ravi connects with.
Wow.
That single teacher, by truly seeing one boy, basically ensured that hundreds, maybe thousands, of future kids would also be seen. That's the ultimate compounding effect of human connection.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
And the lesson Ravi himself carried, the core principle he took from all this, is summed up perfectly in the source material.
Yeah.
One kind word can change someone's entire world.
Simple but profound.
It's not just a nice saying for him, it's clearly his operating principle, the foundation of his transformed life and his career.
Which brings us nicely to the final synthesis then. We started with what looked like a simple little story, but when we unpacked it, we found this deep psychological mechanism. And the striking thing is, it doesn't require huge effort,
Right.
just specificity, genuine recognition, but it can kickstart massive, profound change.
And the critical link for you, listening, is how accessible this power is.
Yeah.
This huge transformation didn't happen because of money or fame or some big charity project.
Oh.
It happened because a teacher took, maybe 7 seconds?
Yeah.
To genuinely see a kid who is being overlooked and say something positive and specific about him.
Yeah.
The barrier to entry for delivering that kind of life-altering input is basically zero. It's available to every single one of us. Right now, today, in any interaction.
Absolutely. So the key takeaways seem clear. First, the immense power in simply noticing those who might feel invisible.
Right.
Second, the psychological effectiveness of praising an existing asset rather than trying to fix a perceived problem.
Crucial difference.
And third, that incredible multiplier effect. How one kind phrase didn't just help one child, but turned him into a source of change for countless others.
So maybe we can leave you with this final thought, drawing directly from Ravi's story. His entire life pivoted on that one moment. If one simple greeting, one observation, "you have a beautiful smile," could literally change someone's entire world by flipping years of negative self-talk,
Yeah.
then what overlooked small kindness? What specific affirmation are you carrying around right now? What power do you hold today to deliver that first spark, to potentially initiate that kind of transformation in someone else's life just by truly seeing them?